This is Liquor and Wolves. Liquor and Wolves. Secrets and dope and music and reactions. Liquor and Wolves. I said liquor and wolves. Liquor and wolves. Liquor and wolves. Liquor and wolves. Secrets and dope and a German talking bullshit. Liquor and wolves. Fuck. Welcome, ladies and gentlemen. And we're live. Good evening, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls from all over the world. How are we doing tonight? This is Liquor and Wolves. I'm Rob, and you guys are the greatest for being here. Thank you very much. So, we are still going down this list of suggestions from you guys. We have done 3 of them as of now, and today marks another 349 days in Liquor Exile. Feeling good, everything's cool. Let's see what this random number generator has in store for us today. So everything that's red's been done before. If it should, cough up 1, 2, or 6, we're just going to have a redo. So let's see. You guys, of course, know what's going to be done today. I don't yet, so it's exciting for me. Let's go. Number 1. Yeah, we have done that before. That was Hua Jianju, whatever. It's on the channel. Number 7. That's Ren Genesis, and it was suggested by Mr. Apollo Rising. Shout out to Apollo Rising. He is one of those folk that are so very, very, very positive in what they drop when they drop comments. Things he says are motivational when they have to do with my spilling my guts in the community tab. Things he drops that have to do with concrete video or content that is being discussed in the comments. He comes in with facts, he comes in with opinions, and he is just one of those that are exemplary for all of you amazing, great folk that are out there in this community, if you want to call it that, that surrounds my channel. Thank you very much for being you, Mr. Apollo Rising. So we will be doing Ren with Genesis. I'm excited. Let's see. I had a tab open here somewhere. There we go. So Ren Genesis. Genesis. This is official from Ren. Yeah, of course we're going into that. Wonder if I should leave closed captions on. I'll leave them off for now to start things off with. So this is 5 months old, has close to 1 million views, which is astonishing because there are things like higher end that are way, way younger and have almost 3 million views already. Let's see if there's anything that needs to be taken in before we start this reaction. No, it doesn't look like it. Sometimes people will tell me, go and read the description before you start the video. This has nothing that has further input about the song. And there is not a pinned comment with lyrics either. So if I run into language barriers as we go, I may try the YouTube captions, which have proven to sometimes be just completely fucked up and sometimes be very correct if they decide to put the script into their upload. It's still Liquor and Woes, even though I'm in Liquor Exile. But we will be sipping on something because I tend to talk myself into Mouth Sahara, and I'm not going to say the brand, it's this stuff. Which, yeah. I've never contemplated all this. You know, the stand in front of a beverage shelf at the store and take out everything that has in some way, shape, or form to do with liquor. Really all you're left with is sodas, is energy drinks, and is juices. And I'm not complaining, but it just really narrows down what I like and what I can get. Because I'm not a water boy much. It doesn't matter. Here's a energy drink. Cheers to y'all. Let's get into Ren with Genesis. Cheerio. Oh, yeah. It's fucking mega extra sweet, right? Why do people love it? I don't know. It will not matter for doing this. So, Ren Genesis. As always, I'm going to check my levels a little bit as we roll into this and then take y'all full screen. Are we ready? I am. So let's fucking go. Yeah. Fish and chips.
When I'm by myself, I find my mind starts drifting somewhere else. It's not inside this
Looking
dimension.
good. Sorry, again, I'll start over because this attention deficit thing, I can't focus on many things at once. So when I'm checking volume levels, I really can't be listening or watching what's going on. But it does look like a fish and chips joint. He is putting... Y'all Brits are weird. UK folk per se. Y'all love the vinegar shit, don't ya? Also chips. Salt and vinegar chips. Oh. I can't even think about it without, my stomach turning. But let's go. It's mushed peas.
When I'm by myself, I find my mind starts drifting somewhere else. It's not inside this dimension, it's definitely somewhere else. I wrestle with my thoughts, constant wrestle with my mental health. I'm put on life support, I've been put upon a higher shelf. My whole life I've been fighting. This cake, it don't have icing. These mantras I'm reciting, they're meant to keep me sane. I don't know if they're working, cerebral cortex hurting. Maybe it's all learning, maybe it's cause life is a lot.
Ooh, wow, he's gonna go into fucking fast spit mode. I love it. I love it that we get something, like some elements that are familiar, which is the sort of, it's not POV, but we're following just Ren with the camera, appearing to be one take. Doesn't matter. It's not, intentionally, this has to be one take. We did a couple of cuts in the Bittersweet Symphony retake. So that's not, the core concept of everything has to be one take, but it's something that reappears. The visual look of it, the storytelling is, we're not, making music videos for effects and visual, bombastic paints of, the visual world. We're focusing on the artist, and it's Ren. It's Ren in his natural habitat. So I was schooled on the fact that in said Bittersweet Symphony video, I think, what was it? They did name the city. I can't fucking remember. But that's why we heard the seagulls in the background in the Jenny and Screech, and also in that one, it is a coast city on the coast. Duh. So what am I getting in? What am I trying to say? I'm trying to say we get reappearing visual concept of Ren is in the focus of our music video, and it's not just fishing for effects left and right. We start off with acoustic guitar picking a little bit, also familiar, and then an actual physical bass comes in. I'm thinking it's being played by a human being, and we're kind of transitioning from this little intro bit where he was already not singing, but sort of speaking rhythmically. And I think now we're getting into rap. And that's, of course, exciting. Let's go back some. He's talking about, just content-wise, what is he saying? His mind tends to drift off when he's by himself. He is still wrestling and, fighting mental health issues in the context of the song, which is, of course, core of what he as an artist is. He is publicly fighting his battles with mental health and all the issues that are left and right of it. And I love him for it. He is not clout chasing because, mental health is a buzzword that is attracting clicks these days. He is doing this as like in a therapeutic way for himself to deal with it, to put it out there. And I'm thinking we're going to really go into rap mode now. All right, let's restart here.
Constant wrestle with my mental health. I'm put on life support. I've been put upon a higher shelf. My whole life I've been fighting. This cake, it don't have icing. These mantras I'm reciting, they're meant to keep me sane. I don't know if they're working.
These mantras I'm reciting, they're meant to keep me sane. What mantras is he reciting? Is it a cope mechanism? Because it's something I was... what, therapists have tried to talk into me as well. Not going to go into my backstory, just saying I was hospitalized for quite a long time over my personal mental health issues. And, of course,
during group therapy and individual therapy, all kinds of approaches to how are you going to get better and how are you going to be able to accept the fact that this is going to stay with you for the rest of your life. So you better find a way to accept and to, make it part of you, because it's not going to go. And one of those is to sort of mantralize that piece of info. It is bad right now, but it will get better. That pendulum he describes. That was one of the approaches that were, shown to me. And I kept saying, I don't want to be actively talking myself into something. Because I'm thinking once it clicks, once you have that moment of understanding and that moment of acceptance, there's no longer need for you to permanently tell yourself that, because that always has this kind of taste of, you're cheating yourself. This could be it. I'm not sure what his mantras are that he has been reciting to himself, but I can relate.
These mantras I'm reciting, they're meant to keep me sane. I don't know if they're working, cerebral cortex hurting. Maybe it's all learning. Maybe it's cause life is a lottery, what's an anomaly? Sometimes it's riches and sometimes it's poverty. Sometimes your nerves have been fried by neuropathy, begging the surgeon to have a lobotomy.
Holy shit. Fucking beats knocking and fucking delivery, they're... What the fuck? Oh, I turned it off, my dumb ass. I love it. Fucking Ren is going in it. And he has double layered his vocal... excuse me, please. He has layered the rap that we're hearing. One is lower and one is higher. And they harmonize really well. And it sounds awesome with good headphones. And yes, this is the moment where I'm going to start putting in the CCs. I do get a lot. But some of the words just either don't make sense. Yeah, cerebral cortex. I know what it is. It is like the front, the area of your brain responsible or in charge of emotion, frontal cortex. And if that gets damaged somehow, that's when you turn into one of those I have zero feelings zombies, kind of. But let's go.
Maybe it's all learning. Maybe it's cause life is a lottery, what's an anomaly? Sometimes it's riches and sometimes it's poverty. Sometimes your nerves have been fried by neuropathy, begging the surgeon to have a lobotomy. Honestly, I'ma speak honestly. Life is ironically fucking me chronically. I have been ill in myself and it bothers me. License for killing myself.
Life is ironically fucking me. What?
Honestly, life is ironically.
Life is ironically fucking me chronically, or constantly could be something. But chronically is of course more of a medical term. My life is ironically fucking me chronically. So what's your illness? Yeah, I have chronic self-fucking. I'm not trying to make this a funny thing. I'm just saying this is brilliantly put into words. Right? Wow.
By neuropathy, begging the surgeon to have a lobotomy. Honestly, I'ma speak honestly. Life is ironically fucking me chronically. I have been ill in myself and it bothers me. License for killing myself, call me Connery. I'ma be straight where you're not.
License for killing me, call me Connery. I think that's a reference to the James Bond, right? License to Kill was James Bond, Sean Connery in that one. I still think he is not the best James Bond ever. Doesn't matter. But nice use of the lingo, painting images, and, License to Kill, to just use that figure of speech, that standing term, and, point the gun to your own head. Wow. And it's, of course, very, very British, right?
I have been ill in myself and it bothers me. License for killing myself, call me Connery. I'ma be straight where you're now. I'ma go straight for the heart. People dilate in the dark. People dilate in the dark. Noah was late for the ark. Noah was late for the...
Noah was late for the ark?
People dilate in the dark. People dilate in the dark. Noah was late for the ark. Noah was late for the ark. Genesis rain and it rain with a star.
Here's why the song's called Genesis, right? It's the book in the Bible, right? The chapter called Genesis. Genesis rain, and it rain when it starts. And Noah was late for the ark? How? Where does this make sense? So here's my version of what I remember about it. This is the fairy tale version, not the actual biblical studied version. He's told by God to build the ark and to save 2 pieces of every living creature. And then comes the fucking flood, and they repopulate the earth afterwards. How can he then be late for the ark? That's weird. I don't get that.
Genesis, pain in the ark. Genesis, Noah was late for the ark. Genesis, rain in the rain with a star. Genesis, pain in the ark. Genesis, aim for the heart. Genesis.
Love that. Very Indian sort of that sort of like, yeah, Rob, you're making sense. Like that, but I'm still fucking confused with Noah's late for the ark, and then Genesis, it rains. Genesis, everything, every bar or line starts with Genesis, and none of it really made sense to me. Let's see if I can get more of it.
Noah was late for the ark. Genesis, rain in the rain with a star. Genesis, pain in the ark. Genesis, aim for the heart.
Genesis, pain in the heart. Genesis, aim for the heart. And he's repeating what he said I will do before. I'm going to be honest. I'm going to aim for the heart. And now Genesis aim for the heart. What is he saying? Is he saying that the book of Genesis is also aiming for the heart to trigger feelings and emotions in you to be more relatable and more, to how do I put this in words? I'm lost as I'm trying to say words, and you can probably tell it's weird and confusing. I'm hoping it will round itself off somehow and tie in and make sense. Right now I'm lost. The only thing I'm grasping at is first verse, him sitting there, fish and chips shop. Listen up, I'm gonna. And then say things like aim for the heart. Then he starts the Genesis biblical chapter, Noah, who was late for the ark somehow. Still not getting that. And then he repeats himself, saying things that he has said he will do. I'm going to aim for the heart. And then he says, Genesis, aim for the heart. Weird. But let's go.
Genesis, rain in the rain with a star. Genesis, pain in the ark. Genesis, aim for the heart. Genesis.
Bollywood sound was what I was looking for earlier. This, I like it. I like it a lot. Can really vibe to it. Not a dance track, you can't pump it in a club. But it's really, I'm riding this beat and he's fucking annihilating the beat. Here's a thought. Genesis is like the Bible. Genesis tells the tale of how God was at one point so angry with what was going down on earth, he decides to wipe it clean and restart. Right? Bringing the flood and telling one person, Noah, save of each species, creatures, a pair, and repopulate afterwards. Is Ren clearing himself out? Is he undergoing a Genesis? This is old Ren. We're going to wipe the slate clean and applying basically the scenario of Genesis on himself. Could be. This hook is nice. Different, but nice. By the way, when I said that's a physical bass being played, I am no longer sure of that. It now sounds like a really hip-hop production. So MPC or whatever generated those 808s. Sorry, let's go. Brighton. Brighton is the city I was looking for. coastal. I'm thinking it was Brighton that people told me he was wandering through in Bittersweet Symphony. I'm thinking it's the same. I'm thinking we're down at the beach now, right?
When I'm by myself, I find my mind starts
Repeating.
drifting somewhere else. It's not inside this realm of thought, it's definitely somewhere else. Wage war upon my demons, I've been knocking on the gates of hell. A heretic, a heathen, I've been screaming in this padded cell. It's pain.
There, I think something is missing in the YouTube. He said heathen for sure. Non-believer. Kafur. Heathen. But it's not showing in the caps. And it rhymes on demon, right? And production-wise, weirdest shit's going on. We get some like cantonic vocal of male voices. Still the little bing, 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 bing. And it starts getting epic, but sort of disharmonic a little bit. I gotta go through this again. I knocked on the doors of hell, I think. Wow, there's a lot going on.
When I'm by myself, I find my mind starts drifting somewhere else. It's not inside this realm of thought, it's definitely somewhere else. Wage war upon my demons, I've been knocking on the gates of hell. A heretic, a heathen, I've been screaming in this
A heretic or heathen.
padded cell. It's pain making my pain waking, it's painstakingly cold. My soul aching, my bones breaking when holding on to control. Wrap yellow tape.
My bones breaking when holding on to control. I'm thinking this is Lyme disease context. You're trying to control what's happening inside your body and can't. Again, Lyme disease or autoimmune diseases per se, when your own body turns on you and doesn't realize those are your own body cells, they identify it as enemies and eat at it. Even though it's your own, your own mass, if you will. So it starts eating away at your own mass, throwing a monkey wrench in your own program. And it's fucking painful. And him saying it's bone breaking when I'm trying to take, or keep control. The more I try to fight it, the more it hurts. And it eventually gets bone breaking. Maybe by not taking meds intentionally, because a life of just medication permanently is just such a depressing outlook, and then you try to go without them, and that's even worse than the outlook of a lifetime of medication. Fucking shit. I'm reaching. This is none of it is very literal. Here is what my message is. Wrap yellow tape around the body shape. Something, wow. It's pain making, my pain waking. It's painstakingly cold. Rhyme schemes and fucking choice of words that have different aspects, even though they are the same word. Brilliant. I have to go through this whole second verse again.
When I'm by myself, I find my mind starts drifting somewhere else.
Wait. Oh yeah, sorry. It's someone's ringing the door. I'll be back in 3, 2, 1, and we're back. Sorry, that was DHL with a fucking parcel. Where were we? I was about to go back throughout the entire verse thing here. Wow, am I lost? Should I check out some comments and their ideas on things? No, I've never done that. It might just tie itself in at one point. We're halfway through. Let's roll.
It's not inside this realm of thought, it's definitely somewhere else. Wage war upon my demons, I've been knocking on the gates of hell. A heretic, a heathen, I've been screaming in this padded cell. It's pain making my pain waking, it's painstaking.
A heretic or a heathen, then he sort of tries to simulate this straitjacket that he's in a padded room. So all these things, of course, heathen and heretic, religious touches to it. Not only touches, but those come out of the not religious, but religious thematic world. Then him showing the straitjacket and talking about a padded room is, of course, the psychiatric ward basically world that he's touching on. I'm thinking that we are always talking about things from those two fields: religion and belief, or disbelief for that matter, and the world of psychiatry, yeah, in all its shapes and forms. Therapy, force, and being held against one's will, and a war going on inside your head. So those two aspects, those two topics are being made an issue of. And the song is called Genesis. I'm still thinking I could be on somewhere of a right track with the idea of, is he undergoing his very own personal Genesis here? Is he wiping himself clean? We will see. But fucking nice use of the lingo here, right? Brilliantly written.
Cold. My soul aching, my bones breaking when holding on to control. Wrap yellow tape round the body shape, put the body in the bag, zip close. It's malignant, it's mutating, it's such a sight to behold. Let me be real for a second. Tongue is a gun, it's a weapon. Reload, blah blah.
Tongue is a gun, it's a weapon. That's facts. The pen is mightier than the sword, right?
Let me be real for a second. Tongue is a gun, it's a weapon.
That's a repetitive thing too, that whole He did that in the first verse too. After he said it for the first time, Noah was late for the ark. Noah was late for the ark. And now he's doing it again before spitting. He's saying, listen up. I've got something to say. In the first part, it was going about the Noah thing. Here is like, let me be real for a second. And starts spitting. And in the first biblical chapter that he spoke of, there was something similar as well in that. So that's being made a mechanic of. A bold statement at the start, then sort of, yes, I am going to, wait up, a sort of little bit of intermission. So bold statement, little intermission referring to it, and listen up, I'm going to spit and talk about it now, and then go into the actual, what do I have to say about it? I'm thinking a mechanic of the song.
Tape round the body shape, put the body in the bag, zip close. It's malignant, it's mutating, it's such a sight to behold. Let me be real for a second. Tongue is a gun, it's a weapon. Reload, blah blah, that. Beast mode, Armageddon. Get 'em. Let me take the wheel for a second. Hit a hoop, like Shaquille O'Neal with the grass.
It's a lot and it's very fast, but again, something wasn't being transcribed down there, but I heard it.
Beast mode, Armageddon. Get 'em. Let me take the
Beast mode, Armageddon. Get 'em.
wheel for a second. Hit a hoop like Shaquille O'Neal with.
Take a hoop like Shaquille O'Neal. A hoop. Take a hoop.
Beast mode, Armageddon. Get 'em. Let me take the wheel for a second. Hit a hoop like Shaquille O'Neal.
Let me take the wheel for a second. And also Armageddon was mentioned there, which is another biblical thing and topic. Let me take the wheel for a second. Like hoops, like is the wheel a hoop? Is that synonyms? Does one refer to the wheel of the car? Do people refer to it as the hoop? Because the hoop of a basketball court is round? Doesn't matter. I think let me take the wheel for a second refers to God to take the wheel, guide my life. And he's like, no, let me take the wheel for a second. Let me be in control. Reaching, Rob is reaching. That could be a good username, right? Reaching Rob. But I'm trying to puzzle. Again, he is introing, listen up. Let me take the wheel for a second.
Beast mode, Armageddon. Get 'em. Let me take the wheel for a second. Hit a hoop like Shaquille O'Neal with the grass and regroup with a 3-point.
Let me take the wheel for a second. Hit a hoop like Shaquille O'Neal. does that mean? Let me take the wheel for a second. Make a hoop. Hoop as in the horn? Because in German it's the Hupe. I am fucking clueless.
Armageddon, get 'em. Let me take the wheel for a second. Hit a hoop like Shaquille O'Neal with aggression. Regroup with a 3-point steal in succession. Switch swoop and I'm making them feel the profession. Making them feel the profession. Making them feel the profession. Time is the author, the lesson. Time is a murderous weapon. Time is a curse and a blessing. Time is confined in the...
Time is a murderous weapon. Time is a curse and a blessing. And what came before that?
3-point steal in succession. Switch swoop and I'm making them feel the profession. Making them feel the profession.
I'm making them feel the profession. Making them feel the profession. What profession?
Making them feel the profession. Time is the author, the lesson. Time is a murderous weapon. Time is a curse and a blessing. Time is confined in the eye of my mind. It reminds me that life is just slipping right by. Take my piece of the pie and I'm feeding on wine. I find freedom in rhyme to defy my depression.
Okay. It's gonna all build and lead up to define my depression.
Right by, take my piece of the pie and I'm feeding the profession. Making them feel the profession. Time is the author, the lesson. Time is a murderous weapon. Time is a curse and a blessing. Time is confined in the eye of my mind. It reminds me that life is just slipping right by. Take my piece of the pie and I'm feeding on wine.
Time is reminding me that my life is just slipping while I'm writing my piece of the pie. I'm the author of my own book. There is no, divine script for what's going to happen. I write my own piece of the pie. Of this book right here, I'm the author. Is that what he said? What's the profession thing, though? The profession. Being professional. And it's gonna end up in my depression. But what is he saying?
Time is confined in the eye of my mind. It reminds me that life is just slipping right by. Take my piece of the pie and I'm feeding on wine. I find freedom in rhyme to defy my depression.
I find freedom in rhymes to defy my depression. Okay, that is a statement that is, at least to a point, bold. My writing these things, my creating, defies my depression. Whenever I'm doing this, when I flourish in creating and in creation, by the way, biblical word creation, those are the times when I am defying my depression, quite literally. So, is it his profession? Is he saying I'm a professional creative? And it is not only because I have this gift of being able to create good music and texts, words. I am seeing it as a profession of mine, yes, but it's also the only way for me to get the overhand over the shit that's going on in my head. And that's why time is a blessing, but also a burden or an aggressor. Because as soon as I get towards the end of my process of creating, that's when the depression is going to take over again, right? And I can't be constantly, just shitting out creation. Same here, by the way. I'm a creative director in advertising, and I have been for the past 20 years. And there is times when you're like, I just can't think anymore. My head is blank. And there's no forcing it. It's like writer's block, right? It's sometimes you cannot force an idea. You cannot force a thought. You can try it, but then you're gonna, over tense and just everything that comes out forcefully isn't going to be great. 99 out of 100 times anyway. Is that what he's saying? Saying, I'm doing this professionally. This is how I make bread. But it's also my tool to win over my depression And the second I stop, it gets bad again. Could be.
The life is just slipping right by, take my piece of the pie and I'm feeding on wine. I find freedom in rhyme to defy my depression. I'ma be straight where you're now.
Again.
I'ma go straight for the heart. Pupils dilate in the dark. People dilate in the dark. No.
Pupils dilate in the dark. So, right, they adapt to how much light is entering the iris. And they will, of course, get larger. This is autofocus on cameras, right? Or like auto brightness adjustment. Less light, the larger the pupil's going to get because it wants that little bit of light to be able to enter. The brighter it gets, the smaller the pupil it gets. And then he rhymes it with pupils dilate in the dark, people get killed in the dark or something, or killed in the park. And again, he intros this part with listen up. In this case, he says, I'm going to be straight with you now.
I'ma be straight where you're now. I'ma go straight for the heart. Pupils dilate in the dark. People dilate in the dark. No.
Pupils dilate in the dark. People die late in the dark. That's of course a brilliant rhyme because every single word of both lines rhyme with one another. Pupils, people. To dilate or dying late. Dilated Pupils, by the way, shout out. Fucking amazing. Worst comes to worst, one of the greatest rap songs of all time, if you ask me. Dilated Pupils. And they make the same approach to jokingly saying it's supposed to be dilated pupils, but they call themselves dilated peoples. Okay. And I think he's going to go to Noah was late for the ark again.
I'ma be straight where you're now. I'ma go straight for the heart. Pupils dilate in the dark. People dilate in the dark. Never was late for the art. Never was late for the art. Genesis rain in the rain when it start. Genesis pain in the art. Genesis aim for the heart.
Genesis pain in the arts. It's still nowhere near making sense to me and for me. Genesis pain in art. Is this something like every artist has to undergo Genesis, as in delete everything that was there and start creation from scratch, from zilch, from nothing. Delete everything that there was before and create from zero. Could be. Okay, that motive again.
Genesis.
Genesis as a whole, the Bible, the book of Genesis is basically that one most important one that everybody knows at least stories, aspects, and pieces and bits and pieces of. I think it's the one even where everything starts, where creation itself starts. And the Noah bit is somewhere within that book of Genesis, where everything that was created before and turned to shit had to be wiped away to restart. Is this describing creative process for him? You start something, realize at one point it really is shit. So undergo Genesis, delete it, kill it with fire or flood, if you will, and start anew. It really could be. It's the only thing that is making at least a fracture of sense to me right now. And the entire thing of his mental health issues isn't the core of the song, I think. They are being made an issue of here and there. It's again something I recommend to everybody who is interested in this how does art work? There's a novel by one of my favorite authors and luckily good friend, because I got to meet him over an advertising thing for Mercedes-Benz. We pitched him to be the one to write a story for a Mercedes thing that we did. His name is Joey Goebel. He is an American writer from Kentucky, Hendo, Kentucky. And he has written many books, and one of them is called Vincent, at least in the German version of it. The American version of it is called Torture the Artist. And the core idea of it, without spoiling, is exactly that. An artist has to always be in dire straits to be able to output his maximum ability, talent, and creation. So what they do is they find a person to always make this artist that they have found, to make the artist's life hell. Kill the parents. Do everything to make him, that's just one of the things they do. Do everything they can to have him always be fucking down and out, because that's when he is at his highest creative level in terms of the output. And this here could be something that is saying, when I am Ren, here I'm switching over to Ren now, when my personal illnesses, issues, and things that I have to deal with, when they are at maximum painfulness to me, the creation I put out helps me defy it, is really the remedy for it. So the more I'm suffering, the more I use my remedy, naming being creative, to counteract it. That's, I think, where his mental health issues come into this song. But I'm thinking the grander scheme of the thing itself is Genesis, which is also the title of it, is wipe away everything you thought was good, and start anew and create from scratch. I'm thinking. Fucking amazing song. Amazing because when I say an amazing song, it appears I'm kind of sounding like I got it. I didn't. It is very, 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 very not complicated, but it's not making it easy on you by saying bold statements. This is my message. And I appreciate that, because it forces you to really think into it and give it mental interaction, having it circulate through all the things that you know, the things that you think for yourself, your own set of standards, and all these, it forces you to interact with it. The music, something totally different. Because production isn't, his guitar abilities aren't at the core center of the music performance of the song. He's taking that out and really letting a electronic beat be the foundation of this is what I gotta say. And this is what I gotta say is a big thing within the songs. Well, I think at least 4 times he is always introing, listen up, or and this is how it goes, or just lend me your ears, lend Mike Tyson your ears. No, I love the beats. I love the also very off-throwing elements of this. To me, it sounds Indian-ish, as in India, not Native Americans. This Bollywoody. Loved that. And then at one point where I pointed it out, we got this cantatonic male voice that would raw, and enigma, sort of monkey choral style. So production also all over the place. music video, as always, Ren, core center of things, walking and just talking his shit. Nothing is distracting us from him and his core message. And that's one I will have to seek help to get a deeper understanding of what was going on. So I will watch a couple of reactions to it, and then I'll see if I can Google more input on it. Maybe he has himself made statements on what are we to take out of it. So again, Apollo Rising, thanks a fucking bunch for this. You're not the only one. This is always placeholder for a lot of you guys who have wanted me to react to this. It's really leaving me deep in thought, not confused, or, in emotional pain or anything like other songs of his have. But it's intriguing. And it's a different Ren than the four things that I've done by him before. Very much appreciated, as always. Great delivery of what's content is trying to be made a point of. And I love the fact that we are here and doing this together. Let me know what your take on it is, but bear in mind, this is always a first time hearing, and try and be a little patient with somebody who has no context or clues of what this thing is going to be and hasn't watched it once before. You guys, if you're loving it, and if you're schooled and fucking knowledgeable on it, have watched it 20 times, and I haven't. So please bear that in mind when you try and get me on the right path of this thing. But I'm sure you will anyway, because you guys are the coolest, and I love you for it. And I hope to see you on the next one. Bye bye.